Sangye Chodo Zoge Sonam Lo Chancho Podo Tane Gyapsoche Dagi Jiso Jive Didaki Rola Penje Sanjin Doborshu Sangye Chodam Soge Sonam Lo Chancho Podo Tane Gyapsoche Dagi Jiso Jive Didaki Rola Penje Sanjin Doborshu Sangye Chodam Soge Sonam Lo Chancho Podo Tane Gyapsoche Dagi Jiso Jive Didaki Rola Penje Sanjin Doborshu Namo Tasya Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tasya Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tasya Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Most Reverend, all the religious Dhamma, the teachers, honorable scholars, intellectuals, the gatherings of this special convention, seminar, or religious conference, on the matters of the peace and social harmony, which is organized by CCC. It is my pleasure to be here. For the last 2 weeks back, Father Biju P. Thomas ji, Sadhu ji and Rahim ji has contacted me on the special programs of this inter-religious conference, and particularly I'm very glad and happy to be here as a disciples of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and then the followers of the Tathagat Buddha, Shakya Muni. This is my first time in Kerala. Born in India, studied in India, and living in India as in exile. But I've been toured in many countries and many places, and most of the Indian states. But today, my first visit in Kerala is such a good opportunity for me to attend and to present such a religious conference and for the universal peace. Not only the attendance of this convention, and tend to read out His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama's message of this convention. First, I am going to read out His Holiness the Dalai Lama's message for this occasion. Dalai Lama message. All major religions convey the same message of karuna, love and compassion. One of my long commitment is to promote the religious harmony. Accordingly, I have been promoting greater awareness among the different religious traditions through interactions with religious leaders and education of the general public. I feel religious tradition can take the lead in taking a society in a positive direction. Through better awareness, we can generate the feeling of oneness of humanity and contribute towards peace in the world. I am glad to learn that a Council for Community Cooperation in Kerala is taking initiative to work for social and religious harmony. India has a long tradition of coexistence of different religious traditions. India is therefore in a very good position of contribute to promoting the religious harmony across the world. With my prayers and good wishes, Dalai Lama, 22nd June 2023. I am not going to take a long speech because you have numerous religious leaders from the various major religions. I'm very grateful and I'm very luckily I have been a numbers of religious conference and numerous inter-religious conference. And just recently, Sarva Dharma Sansad, the committee we have in Delhi, Father Thomas knows very well. We went to show the sympathy of these Manipuri, the peoples who are suffering at the present. We met the governor. We prayed in the governor's house for the peace and harmony in the society. Just like similar to we have taken an oath in Jantar Mandar, 30th of May, Sarvadharma Sansad, the entire the religious representative were attended, and we took a same oath taking to preserve the cultural tradition, heritage, and peace and harmony in the community, in this universal. In India or in the universal, there is 10 major religions. And particularly in India, I met all the 10 major religious leaders in Delhi. Among the religion, there is also different schools. Yes, of course, in the Buddhism, we have 2 schools, Theravada and Mahayana. Therefore, I prayed in the beginning of both the traditions in Tibetan to refuse the Shakyamuni, and in the Sanskrit and Pali, I have recited as a tribute or prayed the Tathagat Buddha. Namo tasya bhagavato arahato sambheka sambuddhasya. It is not in Tibetan, it is in your country's language. I am always keep saying, without the adhyatmic, without the traditional education, the modern education is nothing. Will provide for the well-being, for the society, harmony and peace. More or less, if you will go through only the modern education, it is more or less like a suicide education. That I always keep saying. Because I have gone through both education. I did a modern education from the central school to this Banaras University, Sampurna Sanskrit University. Today I am speaking in English in front of your gathering, this gathering. Otherwise, normally in the Indian community, I used to speak in the Hindi language. मैं हिंदी में अपने वाणी को आप लोगों के समक्ष में प्रस्तुत करने का मैं चेष्टा करता हूँ. But because the India has a huge language, huge traditional, rich traditional, so therefore I just asked our previous speaker which language I can use in this gathering, and then respected told me that you can try to speak English. But normally, English language is not your mother tongue, not my mother tongue. Sometimes मैं कहता हूँ कि अंग्रेजी तो हम लोगों को थोप दिया. You have your Kerala language, yes, very sweet language. मैं अभी when I was heard about when we're taking an oath, I am getting all the languages, like you are taking an oath on the social, cultural, tradition, public, people, universal harmony. That I heard as in the pronunciation. Yeah, that is all in English. So therefore, His Holiness has also mentioned here universal responsibility. And then the Tathagat Buddha's teaching is not only taught about the human being, not only talk about the human being, all the sentient being. Today we are just talking about the human rights, humanity, human peace, mano ki sukh, mano ki chinta, not only taught the human problems. Buddha has taught about all the sentient being. We have to become a human being, not only among the human community, but for all the sentient being. सभी समस्त के लिए, संपूर्ण के लिए, that has taught in Tathagat Buddha's teaching. I'm luckily not only I've studied the Buddhism. When I was in Sarnath, I have studied the whole world constitution. I have written a 250 countries constitution in my language, on my language, in Tibetan. In there we have 250 nations, 50 countries in this universal. Among the 250 countries, only 12 nations is undemocratic country, but rest of the countries are democratic nation, like in your country, like in India. Constitution always taught us to follow the rules and regulation, to follow the articles. Then you will not become a prisoner. Then you will never punished. Then you will never arrest. Same thing religion taught us, to follow the religion, mechanism, thought, ideology, concept. Then you will become a great priest. You will become a great teacher. You will become a good human being. You will try to get more virtues and more compassion, more love, more kindness. And then as a religious people, religious leader, we should not only in the scenario of on the monastery or temple or church, we must now to get down in the public, particularly for the younger generation. Just giving a lecture is nothing. Just giving a teaching is nothing if you are not a practical in this century. Sometimes I feel this is the unfortunate because too many inter-religious convention is trying to organize. Why? In earlier that is not necessary. Earlier I never saw this inter-religious conference, but after the 90s, I saw, and we need a more inter-religious conference. This is the lacking of our contribution. So therefore His Holiness mentioned, religious leaders should be contribute physically, not only the mentally, practically. With these few words, I really thanks to the organizer. I appreciate the organizer. Such a huge gathering, not only the senior citizens, there is a numbers of younger generations. I'm always keep saying, if you can go through the 1947 to till the date, I think very rare Indian freedom fighters are left. Many of them, they never saw the freedom movement. after the independence, most of are born in India. Numbers of the senior citizens before the independence, I think, or more or less, only 20% is left in entire in India. So now the second generation and the third generations have a much and more responsibility how to preserve and how to constantly and how to continue how to hand over to the younger generation. That is the most important, not only the India, but the global, entire the universal. With these few words, once again I would like to thanks to the organizer and Jai Jagat, Jai Bharat, Jai Dharam, Jai Tibet. Thank you.